While Camilla has been a part of the royal family for many years, she is not considered to be a step-grandmother to Prince William and Kate Middleton's 3 children. Author Angela Levin wrote in the book Camilla, From Outcast to Queen Consort.
Author Angela Levin explains in her book Camilla, From Outcast to Queen Consort that what was meant to be a traditional celebration and royal honor instead revealed deeper tensions within the palace. Prince George, heir to the throne and the beloved eldest son of William and Kate, was recently granted a historic ceremonial title reserved for future kings. While royal observers praised this as an inevitable step and the press celebrated it as a sign of his maturity and readiness, for one person inside the palace, it felt like a personal blow. Queen Camilla, wife of King Charles and grandmother to her children from her first marriage, reportedly broke down in tears upon learning that the title she had hoped would extend to her bloodline had been awarded to Prince George without prior notice. A palace insider noted that her devastation was not due to doubting George's deservingness but because it confirmed her worst fear: her family would never be truly royal. Camilla's desire was about more than status. It was about legacy, about ensuring her family was acknowledged and not sidelined by a monarchy that draws clear lines between royal and step-royal. Adding to the hurt, she learned about the announcement the same way as the public, through an official palace statement, without any private conversation or courtesy warning. To the outside world, it seemed like a harmless and charming gesture for a young prince, but inside Buckingham Palace, it fractured the fragile unity between the Windsor family and Camilla's Parker Bowles clan, a divide that many suspected but few openly acknowledged. This was not just about a title, it was a clear message: her family would never sit at the true royal table. In the days following the announcement, whispers echoed through palace corridors. Staff described a shaking queen consort. Some claimed she challenged King Charles, while others said she declined to attend certain gatherings. Meanwhile, tensions between William and Charles reportedly worsened, leaving Camilla increasingly isolated. Camilla Rosemary Shand, now Queen Camilla, has spent decades navigating the complex path from mistress to marriage, from scandal to acceptance within the monarchy. Although her position beside King Charles is now secure, her secret ambition extends beyond the crown. It is a deeply personal mission to see her bloodline woven into the kingdom's fabric. Her 2 children from her marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles, Tom and Laura, have remained largely outside the royal spotlight. Unlike Princes William and Harry, they hold no royal titles. The firm regards their children, Camilla's grandchildren, as civilians, but Camilla sees them as integral to her legacy. In recent years, she has quietly sought to shift how the institution perceives them. According to insiders, her efforts began subtly, through strategic invitations to royal events and carefully curated family photographs. Her grandson Freddie Parker Bowles, a charming and well-mannered boy growing up close to Windsor, has become increasingly visible, often seated near key royal figures at family functions. Those close to Camilla believe she has been positioning Freddie as the acceptable face of her family within the royal fold. She was careful, a former aide said. She never demanded titles, she simply presented her family as deserving of respect and capable of serving the monarchy. Camilla reportedly bragged about Freddie's achievements at private dinners and charity events. She ensured her grandchildren appeared in palace newsletters and Christmas cards. When King Charles ascended the throne, she quietly suggested that her family deserved a formal place in the monarchy's new era. There was even, according to a retired palace aide, behind closed doors talk of seeking a minor hereditary title for Freddie, something symbolic and ceremonial, enough to justify his inclusion in the royal directory without causing public uproar. This was never about greed. It was about belonging. Camilla understood she would always be regarded as an outsider queen, and elevating her grandchildren was her way of saying, "We are part of this too." However, this quiet campaign met quiet resistance. Senior advisors to Prince William viewed the monarchy as an institution grounded in bloodline, tradition, and legitimacy of descent. While Camilla was queen consort, her children and grandchildren were, by definition, not royal. They feared blurring the lines between monarchy and privilege, worrying it would undermine the institution's integrity. Camilla was polite but persistent. She used her growing influence to push for minor changes, more inclusion of her family at events, better seating arrangements, subtle favors. King Charles, torn between love and legacy, indulged some hopes. But Charles no longer controlled the monarchy's future image. That was William's responsibility. William reportedly had little interest in expanding the royal family to include step-relatives, regardless of their closeness to the king and queen. A slimmer monarchy, a tighter circle, an insider explained. There is no room for confusion or favoritism, and that doesn't include the Parker Bowles grandchildren. The concert will feature other iconic rock and metal acts, including Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Gojira, Hailstorm, Alice in Chains, Lamb of God, Anthrax, Mastodon, and a special supergroup led by Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine. Ozzy will perform a short solo set before joining Black Sabbath for their final performance. Given the band members' ages and Ozzy's health struggles, this concert will be their true farewell. It marks an emotional moment for both fans and the band, honoring their roots and legacy. And just like that, the stage is set. Ozzy Osbourne, the man who defied time, fate, and even death itself, is ready to speak once more, not with words, but with music. After everything, the chaos, the fame, the survival, Ozzy is prepared to end things on his terms, not with silence, but with a final, honest farewell. What comes next? Ozzy Osbourne's health revelation and announcement of his final concert have sent shockwaves through the music world and beyond. Fans, fellow musicians, and critics have expressed deep respect and sadness, reflecting on the legacy of the man who helped. Meanwhile, her relationship with William and Kate deteriorated further. To Camilla, this was no routine matter, it was deeply personal. She had climbed every rung of the royal ladder, endured every whisper and insult, and worn the crown. But in a quiet moment, she realized the crown could never protect her loved ones. The monarchy would never truly accept them. As the emotional storm around Queen Camila settled, insiders began to question what the title snub meant, not just for her, but for the monarchy's future. While the public focused on Camilla's tears and Prince George's new title, a fundamental divide was emerging behind palace walls, a generational split between the streamlined Windsor family and the blended Parker Bowles branch. William, Catherine, and their children were being shaped into a cohesive, modern royal core, grounded in tradition, clarity, and public appeal. The Parker Bowles family remained loyal and present, yet unofficial, accepted in photographs but excluded from protocol. Camilla's branch of the family wasn't trimmed, it was disregarded. Such exclusion carries the seeds of a deeper crisis. "You're seeing two royal visions diverge," said a royal historian. Camilla wants to build a legacy that includes her family. William wants to preserve one based solely on bloodline. Both believe they are right. What does this mean? A monarchy slowly fracturing, not from scandal or abdication, but through painful separation of family identity. Freddie Parker Bowles and his relatives are no longer children, they grow up in regal settings without royal titles. They walk palace halls but don't appear in official registers. Though they celebrate holidays with George, Charlotte, and Louis, the message is clear: this kingdom is not theirs. What will this mean for future generations? The monarchy is becoming defined by hierarchy, not just of power, but of belonging. Prince George is already undertaking duties that hint at his future role: military patronages, diplomatic introductions. He is raised not just as a grandson, but as a sovereign. Meanwhile, Camilla's grandchildren remain on the periphery: no honors, no mentions, no ceremonial roles. They are part of the Queen's world, but not the monarchy's future. Some argue this separation is necessary. To survive in a modern world, the monarchy must trim excesses. Others warn this quiet exile of step-relatives could breed resentment that deepens over time. What happens when Freddie reads about George's promotion? Again, wondered one source. They aren't children forever. Feelings don't disappear just because the palace stays silent. William's approach seems to be working. The public admires his children, and the image of a pure royal bloodline remains powerful. But palace insiders worry about the emotional cost of that clarity, especially for those left behind. Camilla feels that pain now. It may take longer for her grandchildren to feel it. In any case, a line has been drawn, one that reaches beyond titles, touching hearts and generations. The monarchy's future will be unmistakably Windsor-centric. But what is the price of that purity? A family forever divided. For Queen Camila, the crown was never about personal glory, it was about redemption. After years of ridicule, whispers, and blame for one of royal history's most infamous love triangles, she fought fiercely for a place at the monarchy's heart, and won. But she could never have imagined that the very institution she entered would quietly close the door on her family. Camilla hoped her grandchildren would benefit from her sacrifices, that by wearing the crown with grace and loyalty, she might pave a path for her lineage to gain symbolic respect within royal circles. Not as equals to the Windsors, never, but as recognized members of a modernized royal court. Instead, she met silence. Then rejection. The title given to Prince George was more than formality, it was a declaration. A reaffirmation that lineage trumps ties. Behind palace walls, her home is secure but isolated. She will stand beside King Charles at ceremonies, smile for photos, wave from balconies. But she does so knowing her legacy ends with her. The name Parker Bowles will never be etched in royal history. Her grandchild will never bow in ceremony, be announced with grandeur, or carry the weight and honor of a title, even one she would have willingly shared. That pain she must bear alone. Because in this new royal era, Camilla may wear the crown, but Kate and William shape the throne. Their monarchy allows no blended lines, no sentimental exceptions. Camilla dreamed of a legacy. Instead, she faces the harsh truth: she may be queen, but her family will never be royal.